you're not on the field, court, or ice, you're on the couch. From DG to DC, this is Coaching from the Couch with your host, CWall, delivering coverage for all DC sports teams from a hometown perspective. Nats, Skins, Mystics, DC United, Washington Wizards, Caps, Bowie State.
My name's CWall, I'm a PG girl. Down for my skins, I don't know if you heard. If you like watching sports, then I am your girl. Sit down on the couch if you're not on the field. Cold on the ice, pick any sport that you want. Know that I cover it tight. What would you like? From baseball to football and more. The list can go on the whole night. Big shouts out to my HBCU fam. Never forget who I am through the wins and the losses, the highs and the lows. We gotta stay strong, so I stay 10 toes. Make the competition back. The way I kick it, make them mad, man. CWall and we live and direct. Sit back on the couch and relax. Come on.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Coaching from the Couch. This is your weekly DC Sports Update, and I am your host, CWall, and we're going to try to bring some holiday cheer up and through here while we can. It's a lot going on, everybody. So we absolutely want to make sure we're sharing some positive news along with the news that is a bit more heavy, right? So there's a lot going on. We have a lot to cover in a short period of time. So as you all are checking in, you know there's always some housekeeping items that we have to make sure we get squared away. If you are watching now live, make sure you are hitting the love or like button so that I know that you're here and I can give you a shout out. Make sure you are sharing this show with your DC sports loving family and friends. Please make sure you are sharing the show for certain. What else? Say hello to each other. I see that the CWall team is checking in. Joy is here. I see some of the absolute best DC sports fans in the area have checked in. Daniel Creek, I see you. I see Eric Jessup. I see Cameron Mingo, among others. So make sure you all are loving and liking the show, sharing the show as Joy has here. And of course, as always, make sure you all are saying hello to Mama Waller. Make sure you all are saying hello to Mama Waller as well, you guys. So much to cover and check in on. So listen, let's go ahead and start giving a shout out to our sponsors, starting off with Roof Max, everyone. So Roof Max is a DC area minority-owned servicing business. So make sure you are contacting with Roof Max. You can find their information here as well. Check it out. Roof Max, www.getroofmax.com. And there is the number. We're going to get through all of these because we have so much to talk about this evening. I'm a little excited, but it's a lot going on. Next up, Uplift Property Suite. And Modern-ish. And the CWall store is always open, and there is a special deal for the email subscribers and for those of you who have checked in and are watching the show. So you all make sure you are checking everyone in. I see by now that one of my most amazing sports media colleagues, Darrell Owens, has checked in from Legacy Maker Sports Network. So hey to you, Darrell. So look, you guys, absolutely have to jump in with some positive news. I saw this post and we shared this a bit on the Washington football team update, but here's something I want to share with you all that I think is so very important for several different reasons. One, as a Black woman in sports, this means a lot to me to see the year of first for African-American women in sports. We also see our very own from the Washington football team, Jennifer King, featured here as well. Take a look at this amazing chart that is showing all of just the impact and the amazing things that Black women have done this year in sports. Check them out. Renee Montgomery, Kristen Hayden, Dawn Staley. Dawn Staley was one of my absolute favorite basketball players. And so kudos to all of these women. Shout out for all of the amazing Black girl magic. You all know I had to shout this out. It means so much. And I'm glad you all can look at it and see that it's dope as well, right? So, hey, you guys, look. Had to share this with everybody. I get super excited when I see this kind of news because, like I said, this is one of those shows that it's a bit heavy because there's so much going on, but where we can find some positive news, we're going to find the positive news. Now, sharing in some more positive news of what has happened to one of the DC teams. The Washington Mystics got some very, very good news earlier this week. Check it out.
To the final two teams vying for the top pick. The second pick goes to the Indiana Fever. Are you kidding me? This means the number one pick in the 2022 draft presented by State Farm goes to the Washington Mystics.
I told you I was a good luck charm this year. Congratulations.
Congratulations to the Washington Mystics. Natasha on class.
So this is the first time since 1999 that the Washington Mystics have received the first pick in the WNBA draft. I definitely need to see all of the like and love buttons on that one because that is absolutely amazing. And that's a lot of fun. Now, of course, as we get closer to the draft, we'll talk a bit more about who they're targeting, who we're projecting, who we want the Mystics to pick up. Some of us already know that there's a no-brainer and who everybody is already projecting to go at the number one spot. But definitely wanted to share that with you all. That was big news for the Mystics, huge news for the city. So sharing that positive holiday cheer, you all, for the Washington Mystics. Shout out to them. Now, want to share this also news because this is the season of giving and want to show a short clip from Monumental Sports on their holiday giving initiative. Check this out.
MSC Foundation is really excited to be at Martha's Table Winter Wonderland this morning. We have representation from the Wizards, the Mystics, and the Capitals, and we're so happy to be able to be partnering with Martha's Table and giving back for the holiday season.
We've got lots of beautiful gifts here for families to come and have a stress-free and safe shopping experience. Even though we're still experiencing this pandemic, you know, people have been through so much for so long, and just being able to offer something that gives some little sort of amount of normalcy for them to be able, and then also to be able to provide a nice and happy and fun Christmas for their children.
It's my first chance getting to work with Martha's Table and just understanding their mission and being able to facilitate joy and helping families feel special and important during the holiday season is
always have to share what the teams are doing to give back to the community. It's an amazing, amazing thing. So shout out to our teams for always consistently giving out during the holiday season and all throughout the year. So I thought that was important to share with everyone here. And while we're getting ready to switch the conversation a bit into some of the changing policies with Monumental Sports and Entertainment, I want to make sure you all are sharing this show with your DC sports loving family and friends, sharing it all into the groups, because this is some important information that I think you all want to make sure you read and understand if you haven't already. So this is important, and I'm not going to read through every single solitary bit of this, but this is important as things are increasing while COVID is continuing and the Omicron variant is continuing to spike. There is an updated health and safety policy in effect for Capital One Arena. As this says here, they will be verifying that patrons aged 12 and older have received at least one dose of the COVID-19 vaccine beginning on January 15, 2022. It also says all Monumental Sports and Entertainment and event staff are already fully vaccinated and are required to wear masks for all events. I can attest to you as a working member of the media for the Washington Wizards, the Washington Mystics, and the Capital City Go-Go that this is a fact. We do absolutely have to provide verification of our vaccination status, and we also had to provide verification that we received the booster as well. And oh, by the way, we absolutely have to wear our mask all the time while in the building. So this is important information. Please make note of it. Please share with your loved ones. This is important because the rules are changing as our environment is continuously changing and the COVID numbers are outrageous. As you can see here in the last paragraph, it says Monumental Sports and Entertainment recommends using the Clear Health Pass app for quick and easy verification upon arrival at Cap One Arena. Here's some information on downloading the Clear app. You can get this information also from the Monumental website. And it's also on their website as well as their Twitter page. When you get there, you want to download the app, scan the QR code. You will sign up or log in, and you will select your screening type to add your proof of vaccination to complete the health pass. I thought this was very important as we're moving through and continuing to learn more about the pandemic. So ensure that you all are staying on top of this. CWall Sports and Entertainment right here on Culture from the Couch. We're going to make sure you're getting all of the information that you need, right, on the teams and as things are ever changing, right? So going to keep you up to date with this information. So switching to the Caps, and we know that the Washington Capitals have dealt with their series of positive COVID tests, so we want to keep the team in our prayers for certain. Here's what I want to highlight regarding the Caps and what I believe everyone needs to make sure they are keeping their eye on. Alex Ovechkin is, in fact, closing in on the great Wayne Gretzky's record of 894 goals. The New York Times has documented this story, and they are following this story closely. And they have documented a quote from the great one, Wayne Gretzky himself, saying, "It's not even a question. He will pass me, and I think it's great. He's well on his way to 40 or 50 goals this year, maybe more. So there is no doubt that ultimately he will break the record." You all, that's huge. That is huge. Keep watch on that. Keep watch on that. That is absolutely what you want to see in a player that is wearing a jersey representing the teams in Washington, D.C. So, hey, listen, that is huge. Keep your eye on that one right there. Keep your eye on it. Wanted to bring it up because I'm always going to share news that's going to say, hey, you need to keep your eye on this situation right here. Keep your eye on it and make sure, because you don't want to miss greatness. You don't want to miss that. Now, do you? Sometimes we complain and we talk so much about what's going wrong in DC sports. Let's give ourselves an opportunity to talk about what's going right. So can't wait to see how that all turns out. Let's switch, why don't we, to the Wizards. Wizards fans, are you here? Wizards fans, are you present? Let's definitely talk a bit about the Wizards. All of the sports leagues are dealing with COVID right now. We know this, but Wizards fans, check in. We know that the Wizards are taking on the New York Knicks right about now. We know that KCP entered health and safety protocols earlier this week. Bradley Beal entered health and safety protocols earlier today. Even still, Wizards fans, check in. Want to make sure we're hearing from you. So everybody knows this is tonight's starting five. And while you all are checking out the starting five, make sure you all are checking out the Triple W. It is another focus on WNBA, NBA, women in sports show that I had the pleasure of engaging with and co-hosting with 3 other phenomenal members of the Wizards media. So you can find us on YouTube and Spotify and all that. So make sure you are subscribing. And we're talking about all of these guys pictured in this picture, among others. But against the Knicks, this is your starting five. It's a lot to go on with the Wizards. It's a lot. I think that everybody can tell and notice that the energy still isn't there. The energy still is not there with the Wizards. And I'm appreciating Cameron putting in the chat, and this is one of the things that we're going to be talking about on the Triple W, as we are coming up on the 1-year anniversary of the Triple Dub. But one of the things that needs to be discussed is, where did the energy go? Where did it go? A team that seemed to have so much chemistry and camaraderie seems to be fighting for that right now. Where did the swag go? What happened to it? It remains to be seen, right? I know in a recent presser, Montrezl Harrell said some very interesting things, just in terms of, we shouldn't have to find our energy. We shouldn't have to try to find these things, that this is what we get paid to do in a sport that we love. So we just got to get it. We just have to get it. So I'm hoping that they find it, because as you all can see, based on the record, the Wizards are on the downhill slope. The stock is going down. And we're seeing teams that at the beginning of the year were slow to gel and slow to get it together. We're seeing their stock going up. We're seeing them improving. Now, one thing Trey said, and this is another thing that I pointed out to everybody, teams got film. And this is actually something that on the broadcast, even Drew Gooden had to make that point. Hey, look, once the season starts, the team has film on you. They're watching how the coach is making adjustments. They're watching, if you beat them previously, they're going back and watching that film and seeing how you beat them. That's what happens. I mean, that's what happens in all sports leagues. Once there's film on you, of course, this team was a completely new team together. But as soon as you start playing, now there's film. Now people can learn you. And you have to be able to adjust to how teams are responding to you once they feel like they've learned you and once they feel like they know who you are. So how are the Wizards going to respond to that? Because this is not even the same level of chemistry, camaraderie, energy that we were seeing just 2 months ago. So even while the season is a long one, and it is absolutely a marathon, not a sprint, it does make your eyebrows raise a bit when you're saying this team has done a 180. This team is doing the exact opposite. Trez was the energy ball. Where did Trez's energy go? Spencer Dinwiddie, we know that Spencer is working through an injury. Let's be clear. He is working through that injury, and that's a vicious injury, you all. You just can't come back and play like, But this is something that, if not pulled together soon, could snowball. Because as soon they'll be adding additional people to the roster, right? There's a lot of promise about when Thomas Bryant will come back, a lot of promise with Rui coming back. Players are coming back. Then you'll have to deal with the potential flux, as we're seeing already this week, in the change in personnel due to COVID, right? I think it's safe to assume we dealt with Kyle Kuzma being out, now dealing with KCP being out, dealing with Brad being out again this season. There may be other players that now the team is going to have to adjust. So want to get that chemistry back, want to get that camaraderie back, so that it's not so much of a difference when you're seeing the energy on defense up and down, completely different. I see it in some players. I see Daniel Gafford getting his swag back. Would love to see Trez get his swag back. Would love to see Spencer get on, he straight up, he and Brad need to figure it out. They need to talk through whatever it is that they need to talk through. Seems like there's a bit of letting Brad have it, because, as they like to call Brad, he is the head of the state. Right? He's the head of the state. He's the leader. But one thing leaders do is to get everybody involved, and they get everybody working to their strengths. And that's not necessarily what's happening. So again, we already know that there's going to be some changes. We can already just assume it, everybody, that COVID is running wild. Again, Kyle went through it. KCP going through it. Now Brad is going through it. We can only say, hey, may happen to another player or two or three or five, but let's be ready for the flux. But let's still try to keep the chemistry and camaraderie and energy. As always, it's more to come on that topic, but it's absolutely something that needs to be watched and paid attention to, because teams are on to them, but we absolutely want to make sure that they're able to respond to teams being on to them. You know what I'm saying? So more to come, more to absolutely come. Let's move on. Washington football team fans, where is everybody? I guess we're back at Beat Dallas week. But while we're at Beat Dallas week, let's go back to some feel-good stuff. Can we go back to some feel-good stuff? Let me see if I can pull this into the stream. What better thing to see than to see Fred Smoot being Santa Claus? If that doesn't put a smile on your face, I don't know what will. Seriously, this goes back to the feel-good stuff, because we know there's some things that are kind of heavy that we have to discuss and that don't feel all that good, right? Fred Smoot is Santa Claus. We're going to keep that there for a minute as we talk about Beat Dallas week yet again, right? You all listen. At least the COVID list is getting shorter, right? The COVID list is absolutely getting shorter. Let's take a look at the COVID list. So here is the COVID list. The COVID list is getting shorter. So here is the current COVID list. Hey, listen, I'm assuming this is the most recent list, but things change abruptly around everywhere, not just here. But this is the list. Taylor Heineke is now off of the list. We'll see what happens. David Mayo was one of the linebackers who now he is off the list as well. And with Cole Holcomb going on the list this week, it's good to get at least a linebacker off of the list. So you all, listen, the team is at a more of a deficit than they were when they played Dallas previously. And Dallas got a lot of energy. Dallas has all this energy right now. I mean, I think if Dallas wins on Sunday, they are the NFC East champions. If Philly loses, if they win or Philadelphia loses, I think that is the situation for them to be the NFC East champions. And I think at this point, it's all about what you want to do. What do you want to be known for? Coach Rivera has now been loud about if they don't win out, if they don't make the postseason, he is going to be very upset. He's going to be very upset. He said this. And it makes me wonder, okay, if you're going to be very upset, here's something that I always think about, that the start slow approach isn't always the best approach. Because I'm sure at this moment, there's a few games Ron Rivera probably before the bye that Ron Rivera, if he could get those games back, if he could get those moments back, he absolutely would. Absolutely would. But you can't get them back. So remains to be seen what happens, but this is going to have to be a game of heart and a game of pride because Washington is at the deficit. They're absolutely at the deficit. And it's unfortunate, but that's where the team is. Sure, we could come on here and say they can win any given Sunday. Sure, yes. But hey, listen. That Dallas defense, that Micah Parsons, the last time the team had a time with Micah Parsons. Not sure if Brandon Sheriff will be back, but we need our Pro Bowler Brandon Sheriff back because he was even getting pounced on that game. Need Brandon Sheriff back. Need Jonathan Allen. Jonathan Allen has had a superb season. I absolutely believe that he absolutely deserved that Pro Bowl starter recognition. And we shared that news breaking as it was coming out. Jonathan Allen is a Pro Bowl starter. Brandon Sheriff, Pro Bowl starter. But Jonathan Allen needs to show up because we know he definitely did not versus the Eagles, nor did the rest of the defensive line. This has to be a strong game defensively. And for everybody that's talking about how big and bad Trayvon Diggs is, I would let Cam Sims, I would air it out and let Cam Sims, Cam no Trey. So he already told you the solution in his press conference after that game. He watches Trey. He already knows his route. So he just beat him. See, everybody was so worried about the Terry McLaurin, Trayvon Diggs matchup that they forgot that they still have other weapons that can come through when necessary. And I think that's what they need to do. They need to get creative and they need to show and prove and they need to play like this is the last game of the season because technically, even though it's not, it basically is. You lose to Dallas. Dallas is automatically the winner of the NFC East. And your season is over. I mean, you can play next week because you got a game, but what are you really playing for? More to come. Big weekend. Huge weekend, you all. Huge weekend for the Washington football team. How will they respond after going through all of this turmoil, the injuries, and the COVID outbreak? Can they persevere and get past this adversity and put it all on the scrimmage line and out there on the field to keep their season alive? We will see. Listen, you all, we have come to another close of Coaching from the Couch, your weekly DC Sports update. Listen, when I see you all again, right, it will be after the Christmas holidays. You all, please be safe. Okay, be safe. Enjoy your holiday season. Yes, absolutely. Wear your mask. Please wear your mask. And you all listen. I hope you all have as much fun as I do sharing all this DC sports news, okay? You all be good, be blessed, and I will see you all again soon.
You're not on the field or ice. You're on the couch. From DG to DC, this is Coaching from the Couch with your host, CWall.